Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts, Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski.
I don't know how people do that job of, like Disney or one of the bigger theme parks has the cast members who have to corral when the line gets too long for the queue and they have
tell
to
them where to
create
go.
the line. My anxiety at just looking at them trying to coordinate it peaks.
It's too much.
And I'm like, I'm about to yell and I don't even know why or at who.
Yeah, I completely understand because, yes, if you do listen to page 7, yeah, this is a continuation of me complaining weeks ago about Ed cutting in the line and to a point that we had to just start rolling because Natalie and I have just been yelling about people that don't adhere to the rules of society.
I
don't respect a line cutter.
I don't. No, because like you said, you think you're better and more important than everybody else
Everybody in the line?
Same thing when you're in traffic. There is a certain way the traffic works when you're all feeding into the highway traffic. And if you're like, well, I need to be ahead, I have places to be. You're like, I guess none of us do.
None of us do.
We're all just having little joy rides while you have to go do your important TikTok.
I love being in traffic. I will say I have seen your husband go into the turn lane.
Oh, I know.
To cut off everybody at the light.
I do not agree with his driving.
Honestly, though, it gets to such another level, though, that at that point, I respect it. Because then it's so brazen that, then it's like, well, I guess,
I don't. You know why? People have guns now.
Yes, you are right. I mean,
road
rage is
you're
right. You're right.
Don't just, it's not, I get it.
If you're going to scream in the car, keep the windows up, though. Keep the windows up and don't flick off anybody.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. Road rage is like at a peak level right now. Like it's getting crazier. Don't get into an argument with somebody on the road because they might fucking shoot you.
Bro, but could you imagine getting into that fight dressed the way we are? Because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but Natalie drives here in costume. Mm-hmm. And I would love it if you were dressed like the Autumn King with your ears. Oh, baby, you are really getting some horizontal length over here on those ears. You're looking great.
You know why? I was trying to do this, pulling my hair behind my ears.
I like it.
But then it's just making my ears go to the side.
Yeah, but it makes them more pronounced. And I feel like you definitely look more like the Autumn King than just as much as you look like the Autumn King as I look like the Chucky doll.
No,
which was completely unintentional.
You look great.
Again.
I actually think you look like a broccoli head Gen Z.
Whoa, I see you and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I feel that I'm given, because I feel like the hair.
I kind of want that wig.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it is good for broccoli head. You're right. It is giving good broccoli head. But I feel like it could also, if I were not covered in blood, with also, I don't know if you guys can see now that I realize the microphone is in the way, but I do have tufted chest hair.
This look. You're crushing it.
Thank you. I did get my
really
chest hair here because I feel like that's when you know you're a wolf shifter, if you have a big bushel of chest hair.
I definitely think Ethan has a ton of chest hair.
Right? Even at the age of, what is he, 17?
No, he's in his 20s.
Is he? Man, my brain really made him a child. I kept him, I think it's because I never thirsted for him.
Yeah, no,
so
I don't
always
either.
Kept him in. And honestly, I will say, whenever we get...
Nope.
I will say nothing.
Yeah. I don't know what you're saying, but I know it's
I will say nothing.
Spoil something.
I know. That's why I was like, how do I say this without spoiling it? And I can't, and I won't.
No, he was, I think he was like a freshman when they were seniors in college. And then the time jump happened.
Gotcha. Oh my God. I was blasting Dochi's Alter Ego earlier. And I don't know if you're familiar with that song, but Dochi. I was like, it is giving Bryce. There's something about Alter Ego that it's the whole the vibe of it is just fuck
love
yes.
That.
So
yes.
I did want to send it to you early, but I didn't want to send it to you that early because I was at 1 o'clock in the morning sending you videos of a dog and a raccoon becoming friends.
Oh, I did watch that. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad. And I
appreciate
did
it.
say nobody can ever tell me to go to sleep. So I didn't want to end your night and also start your next day.
I thought you were trying to save me this fun. I thought you should have sent me a song because, as you know, I awoke to a what would you call that? A farm. A fly had their babies in my laundry.
It's interesting that you say they're babies because I feel like I wouldn't refer to them as their babies because
that
I feel
was
like
that fly's best day. That fly just had its dream come
was
true.
coming in the laundry. Because if you are listening to this and you're like, wait a second, did Natalie find maggots in her laundry? You would be correct. Do you want to scream to death? Because I heard this earlier before we started recording page 7, and I literally did for a really long time because there's nothing. I mean, the writhing, the movement, it's like the movement. I don't think they make a sound, but in my brain they make a sound. And I think it's because, I know it's because of Poltergeist. And in that scene.
That scene was so scary when I was a kid.
I still get upset when I see that scene.
Yeah, it's gross.
But Natalie,
That's how they came out of my laundry, like that scene in Poltergeist where they came out.
I was dressed like this, and I was like, please say she's going to cancel the show, and I would be completely fine with it because you want to call out maggot, I'll give it to you. I will never, you know what? I want everyone to hear this right now. If you ever work with me, and you got to call out because you got a bunch of maggots in your clothes, I accept it, and you are allowed to.
Thank you so much for that. I just feel validated and feel heard.
Yeah, only that. So hopefully it happens again.
If there's just basic worms in my laundry, we got to record. Don't know
babies?
Don't know how that happened. I think one of the dogs maybe left a piece of food in the laundry pile on the ground for a couple days. I got behind, and
are you ever gonna do laundry ever again? Like, I don't know if I can ever touch. I don't even know if I can do laundry ever again.
I still have to deal with the rest of the laundry.
No, I say just burn the whole room. Just set it all aflame.
You know what's very funny? We have to talk about this book here. But,
we're gonna.
Of course, I was up at 7:30. I was getting ready for recording a bunch of stuff today, and when this happened, and I picked a shirt up, and I was like, "What? What is?" And then a bunch of maggots fell out of it, and I screamed. I had to, of course, wake up my husband because this is a husband's job.
Yeah, it's
I could not handle it on
job.
myself, but I tried. I was like, "Oh no, there's way more maggots than There's never just like 4." And so to
how
wake
many
him
maggots we talking? I mean, I know everyone really wants to shudder to death, but just give me.
I don't know, at least 50.
Oh my god!
I have no idea.
Oh my god! I'm triggered,
but
and
the
I'm
interesting
traumatized.
Thing that's so funny, isn't life ironic? Is that a big portion of where we found them? Was in Henry's The Fly shirt.
Oh, did somebody come for a visit? We all want Jeff Goldblum in our home, just not like that. Is he coming on your laundry?
Maybe.
See, if it was
Do you think he comes? Maggots?
I was about to say, even if it came from his, I don't want to touch those maggots. It's reminding me of when we had lawn grubs in my onion patch. And the only way to get rid of lawn grubs, which are big and thick, the only way to get rid of them is to smash them, and then they explode. And so I just
I guess I should have put a trigger warning at the top of this episode. You guys ready to talk about some erotica?
Yeah, man, we're having a bit of a squirt explosion, but not in the way that you wish.
Would wish was happening.
Yeah, you gotta go after those grubs. Never let a grub keep you down.
And then on the other thing on my way here is they decided. They were the men came and they said, we're going to rip your street up today. Good morning. And so one of our cars is completely trapped in our driveway, and the other one.
I wonder if there's maggots in it.
In my car.
Yeah.
It could be.
They came from somewhere.
Maybe they're from my car.
Ooh, and maybe you'll be scared like every time you open up your dresser drawers or every time you go into your closet or anytime you ever put a piece of clothing on ever again.
Yeah.
Or maybe you won't think about it every time, but like every 50th time you're going to think about it.
Probably. I still think about the other time I found maggots under the sink in like 2016.
You all have had, Natalie, if I ever happened upon maggots, I think I'd bring it up every social occasion.
You would? Should
Maggots.
I be talking about this more, audience? Let me know in the comments below. Should I be talking about my maggot experiences more? Yeah, it was an Airbnb.
Okay. It wasn't in your home. I feel like in-home maggot find is unconscionable.
All right.
Like
So, just for the sake
do we
of
have to
our
stop talking about
listenership, let's maybe stop saying the word maggot.
I don't know how you're ever gonna not
you
think
know,
about this
they
ever
maybe
again.
don't want to think about maggots today.
I'm sorry, everyone. This is a horny book.
I did it. I brought it up.
How is Natalie not gonna bring it up today? We had to talk about this.
Well, was going to say, as I was walking in my car, the other one was thankfully parked on a different street. And so I had to walk past the construction boys like this.
Oh,
I
yeah,
said,
you get a little
"Hey,
king bald out there.
boys,
Hey, boys.
take a picture to last longer."
I'm bad to my child.
I'm an abusive parent.
I'm a bit of a bad daddy. Are you excited by me? Yeah, give them the daddy energy.
Yes. Okay, we got to go. Chapter 6. We're back at Bryce's apartment. Bryce and Hunt's apartment, I guess I should say.
Oh my God, yeah, you should.
In chapter 6, we see Syrinx for the first time in this book as Bryce is scrambling around because, as you'll recall, at the end of the last chapter, they come across Ethan just in their apartment.
I'm trapped in the world of horror and I didn't even know if I had.
There's no stabbing in that scene.
Oh, I was thinking of Chucky. I'm lost in Chucky. I'm lost in a doll figure in my brain.
I see.
It's simpler in here. All I think about is kill, kill, kill.
Wait, I gotta get this.
Save me, Natalie. Thank you.
I think you're killing it.
Thank you.
I don't think the wolves have fey ears, right? No.
I didn't think so. I really did look, but I don't think that they're fey because they're not fey. They're just veneer, right?
Let's see. What does the internet say?
Internet?
No, he has curved ears. Yeah, see, look, he's hairy.
Normal curved ears.
He's got all the hair.
Yeah, he's got this floof here. It's like I feel like the scene in Birdcage when she goes through his hair and she's like, "When did you get all this chest hair?" When Christine Baranski starts looking through his chest hair, it's very itchy to apply.
But it looks
spirit gum to your chest. Thank you. Yeah, also this spray blood, man, they are really coming very far. We used to always make our own blood for Murder Fist.
Yeah.
Because it was much cheaper than getting stage blood. Man, it's really come down in price. And it's just, the squirtability is just way better than using high fructose corn syrup.
Who knew? Really look like you were beaten by your den mother.
Yeah, and I'm upset about it.
But what's going on? We'll find out. Am I spoiling it just a little? I'm hinting. So
I mean, I think that I'm giving here a little bit.
Giving? Oh, a spoiler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You found me, but how did you find me? Oh no. Oh no, I might need to be kissed back to health, Bryce.
You know, I'm not into Ethan.
No, she won't.
Oh, you're being Ethan.
I'm being Ethan at Bryce. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, follow my lust, Natalie.
We see Syrinx for the first time, and it's because Bryce is scrambling around trying to find the first aid stuff in her apartment, and Syrinx is like doing Syrinx things and just like kind of getting in the way, but being cute. And so she's just like, sees the injured Ethan, goes, we'll deal with this first, and then I'll figure out what you're doing here. If you'll recall, Bryce and Hunt came back from the house party at Runes, and this is where they found him on the floor. She finds the supplies in her bathroom and thinks about how she's barely seen Ethan since the night of the murders and how he is now barely conscious on her floor.
Sorry. Text the wolf back, bitch. But also, I know there's a lot of issues.
I guess that's one way to get back in the life of a friend who you've been estranged from.
You
Is
just
show up
covered in blood.
at their
Yeah,
house.
that's. I've heard that really helps extend a friendship.
Yeah.
I will say it might not because I am getting blood. I should have let it all dry, but I didn't. And I'm getting blood everywhere. So maybe think about that before you show up. So maybe bring your own towels that you can lay down.
See, yeah. You're thinking ahead.
Thank you.
Bryce doesn't really know where to start trying to pull apart what's happened, let alone their strained relationship. So she just starts treating the wounds.
Yeah.
She can tell Hunt is angry as she's beginning this process. And it's not just because his Bryce alone time has been interrupted. He demands to know why Ethan is here with no subtlety.
I mean, he's there to protect his bitch. I mean,
Well,
to just
also-
show up and knows that their relationship is strained to put this on her.
Also, just seems like he's bringing some problems into their home.
And they don't need it right now. They're trying to stay out of trouble right now. But trouble, darn it, it just keeps seeming to find them.
Drama much, Ethan?
I mean, he is a bit of a dramatic.
Were you going to try to work the word wolf in there?
I
Couldn't
was,
find
and I
it?
couldn't. I was
Yeah.
like, drama wolf, but then it's just drama wolf, and that's not a joke, Jackie. I know everyone's living for my smashed, forced puns, but no, nothing.
Not today. Ethan mumbles in response to Hunt that Perry, the omega of his pack, dropped him here, which does not really answer any questions.
Nope.
So Bryce presses him as she examines his injuries. He's really jacked up. Broken ribs, skull fracture.
Oh, and my chest hair is poking
hair's
out.
poking
What do
out.
I do, Bryce?
Tons of bleeding wounds.
Bryce.
Blood's in his chest hair.
Oh, my nipples are protruding because I'm so thick, Bryce.
Actually, mine are. I don't know if you can see through this blazer. Like rippling
whoa,
pecs.
you are, man, your abs are up by your neck.
Yeah, I don't know why. This is a
That
cheap,
is
it's a
impressive.
cheap bodysuit.
No, I think
So
that
the
you're just,
nipples are about right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, I think you should get a chest lengthening surgery.
Probably exists. I saw a guy who got his shins lengthened.
Materialist. We're not talking about materialist right
What's
now.
that?
It's a not rom-com with Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans, but everyone was upset because they said it was a rom-com, but then we went to go see it and it's not a rom-com.
Oh God, I regret asking. All right.
But you got the
So-
answer.
I did. I got the answer. So he's got wounds. He's got chest hair everywhere.
Oh.
It looks like he almost lost an eye. So that is to say, he was beaten to the point of almost death. And it's like, well,
I'm
what,
not a doll. I'm a wolf.
like, what did he do? Bryce and Hunt analyze his injuries while making cutesy jokes together. And Ethan looks confused and kind of grossed out because he's watching a couple who's just gotten together.
Yeah, be cutesy wootsy at each other, and he's got a hard on, but not right now.
No. So he's got both a hard on and is
Hard off.
hard off. Yes. Bryce, taking insult, tells him that she'll get him cleaned up so he can go be on his merry way. That's when Ethan finally breaks the news. He has been banished from his pack.
So glad you came here to drop it on my doorstep,
They're always dropping stuff on our doorstep.
baby, and it's always covered in blood.
Sometimes it's got
Wings.
what's the other fluid?
Yeah.
Not cum.
Come on.
Can't always be cum.
It can always be cum. Man,
So
I'm just thinking about Jeff Goldblum coming all over your laundry.
Ugh.
But he's like,
I'll take the
as the
maggots.
fly. He's just like, get out of my. I'd rather it have just been a fly.
Ugh. Sabine, well, maybe we'll get his inheritance. Though.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
if that gets us in the will, then
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah. You come on those eggs. Do they come on eggs the way like a praying mantis, or is that what a praying mantis does? I made that up.
I looked at fish last time. I did not look up this for you today, so I don't know.
I thought that you always came prepared, Natalie, and you let me down.
That's what I do.
No,
That's how
Natalie, no, you never do.
I do.
Look at my beautiful chest hair. Yeah, it's just a section of chest hair, and yeah, maybe you can see where the chest hair ends, but don't look at that portion.
I'm pulling my blazer off mostly because
Natalie, the verisimilitude.
I am profusely sweating.
Where are your nipples right now, Natalie? It's 10 p.m. Where are your nipples?
Hopefully out and about. So he has been banished. Sabine has exiled him from the wolf compound. Apparently, a news article has come out that day about the day of the portal's opening. So there was a big, review of everything that's happened.
Yeah,
and
like people that saw it and people that were involved, sources say.
Yeah. And Ethan had been interviewed in it. And he had defended Bryce against Sabine's thorough bashing of her.
He knew.
Well, she was also Sabine was in the wrong.
Yeah.
100%.
But you don't go against the pack.
You're not supposed
publicly.
to. I've seen Twilight.
Yeah.
Bryce and Hunt both seem a little stunned. And Bryce has to force herself not to immediately go seek out the article, a little emotional cutting. It's really hard to not look at stuff online about yourself, but you shouldn't.
What?
I'm not talking to anyone specifically. No one specifically.
Ouch. Natalie, ouch.
Everyone in my life does it. Both my co-hosts and my husband do it, and it's a lot.
I am but an angel, please.
I should be cutting off your. I should give you some sort of blocker on your internet.
No. But then how can I look up which Love Islander is which? Because I always forget their names.
That might be good for you too, to have another outside hobby from Love Island.
It is kind of crazy though. After 20 hours, I still don't know all their names.
Why would you fill your head with that information?
I don't need to, but I can look it up because don't worry, you have plenty of time to doom scroll while you watch it.
No, thank you. I'm too smart.
Yeah. With your nipples in your earlobes.
I'm not. A little, So Bryce is like, oh, God, I don't want to look at it. Bryce wants to know why Sabine would be wasting her time on petty arguments in newspapers. And Ethan says that he made Sabine look bad going against her comments. So that's why she was mad. She had been in the same article basically talking about how Bryce was
great.
Just, some whore. She loves to call her a whore who...
It is a little old at this point. It's okay, get a new thing, Sabine. You can go after her, but get a little more creative. Come on.
They rarely are. The insults are rarely creative. So then Ethan basically just said the truth, which sometimes people don't like to hear it.
No.
They don't want to hear it.
No, perspective can be brutal.
Yes. And Ethan also did this thing, like you said, where you can't go against the wolves, especially the prime or the prime elect. What is it called? The prime apparent?
Prime apparent.
So that they don't do that. So
also, I like that it's prime apparent, by the way. I feel like we've never really talked about that. I like that it's it seems, but we're not the one that's saying. Only the prime can say.
Apparently.
Is this because are you still thinking about walking in front of those construction people dressed like this? Is
I
that
not,
gotten
had
past
sleep or had
this
a
morning
that was normal?
Yeah.
So just I am where I am.
I'm actually really enjoying this energy.
Great. It's who knows where it's gonna go.
I don't bestow more maggot life upon you, but if I did,
maybe
it looks
what
good
I
on
need.
you. Yeah.
Maybe I should start an account talking about how they're the wellness community. You need them.
They have feelings too.
To know for yourself, this with the selfish wellness community being you have maggots, you wash your hair with them. And it infuses you with organ energy. I forget the word.
Yeah. I like organ energy though, because then it just sounds like you're putting a bunch of like, chicken livers all over my face.
It's going into your organs. And giving they're cleaned out.
That's great. Organs for my organs. What'll they think of next?
So Ethan basically is like, yeah, so I went against her, but he adds, it's not necessarily like he's just like trying to get up, crawl up Bryce's ass. It's that he is
he would if given the opportunity, but because the actual Prime had called Bryce a wolf that day, and so he, in his mind, he wasn't going against the wolves. He was defending a wolf because the Prime called Bryce a wolf. Okay, that's like, all right, that's beautiful and everything, but like, come on. We all know she's not actually a part of the pack.
Yeah, but she actually did save everybody.
She definitely did. I'm saying she had the right to be defended, but I feel like that's definitely like while he's getting the shit beaten out of him, he's like, I mean, technically, I did think that she was a wolf. Like, I feel
so
like
it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried. You gotta try stuff.
I mean,
when you're getting beat up.
He's too hot to be that smart. Yeah, you can't be both.
He's a sunball player. You think he went to classes?
He's thrown himself into the ground too many times,
I think maybe he also didn't finish college. It seems like after the murders, he kind of just stopped doing everything.
I mean, I get that. I understand.
Or maybe he never was in college. I don't remember. He might have just been hanging out with the college kids while he
played
pursuing
sunball.
I don't remember. And I'm not going to ever know.
Honestly, I feel like it's the same as like in the world of a Riverdale, where it's like, they go to school somewhere in some fashion, but
they're like around stuff.
It's like if you have to go be a wolf shifter, where are you going to really learn what you need? From the pack.
From wolf school.
You got to go to wolf trade school?
Aw, that'd be cute.
I would love it. Please. Oh, can you imagine how great I would be? I think I'm more coyote than wolf.
But that's cool. Coyotes are great.
There's been more coyote attacks in the neighborhood. I don't know if you've seen on Neighborhood. What is it? Neighborhood Watch? Watching the burbs.
They come down into the valley sometimes because they get lost.
They get thirsty. And sometimes they're drinking out of the pools.
Sabine, of course, did not see it that way, that Bryce was a wolf. Ethan says that Perry remembered that he and Bryce used to be friends, so he dropped an unconscious Ethan at her apartment as perhaps a show of defiance against Sabine.
And also, so that hunt, he didn't choose it. He got dropped there.
Yeah, so relax.
Calm down. Bryce swallowed. Connor's little brother had once been her best friend, after Danica. Fury and June had come after that. Gods, how many messages had she and Ethan swapped over the years? How many juvenile jokes had they shared? How many times had she bounced in the stands at one of his sunball games?
Oh, he loved that.
Yeah, screaming her lungs out for him. The male before her was a stranger. Who, me? What? Bryce? I feel like if she said something like, I'd be like, but you know me, and I just defend you. Ethan. I'm Ethan.
I just imagine him trying to focus on Sunball and Bryce in the stands going,
my breasts are everywhere, but I'm here for the Sunball.
Ethan seems to feel the awkwardness in the room and tells her he'll get up and go, like,
let me wait.
Whenever you finish taking care of me, I'll just leave.
Get me out of here. All right. Okay.
I mean, but he's not really trying.
No.
Bryce stops him. Now that she knows that he's an outlander, she won't let him walk the streets alone.
It's very nice of her.
No, he's staying with her until they figure something out. Hunt agrees. Even if he's annoyed, he's not willing to throw this broken and bloodied male out on his ass. It becomes obvious that Ethan is so injured, he barely argues. He agrees to one night, and that's that. We go to Hunt's POV, and he's listening to Bryce make excuses to her parents why they have to leave town early over the phone as Ethan lies bleeding on Bryce's coffee table. Because don't worry, we're not just dealing with Ethan. This is like my morning.
Oh my God.
We're not just dealing with maggots. We're also dealing with construction workers
God.
that have blocked my car in.
Oh my God.
She's also dealing with her engagement.
So you had a birthday. Did you think that the second you saw? I'll
did.
stop saying the word. Them.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about it. And I know that everyone listening to this episode, don't try to hide from me. I know you're also thinking about it. And we're trying not to, and we're going to get through the episode.
Guys, I wish I could have not brought it up, but
You couldn't. It's illegal for you to not bring this up.
imagine this happening and then not talking about it. Maybe you would never. Maybe you would be so mortified. I guess I'm missing that part of me that's supposed to.
Why? Fly happens.
Did you just say fly happens?
Yeah. Do you feel comforted?
Fly happen.
Whoa.
Wow.
Get used to it. Yeah, I feel like you have to say fly happen, get used to it. I feel like it goes together. Anyway, sorry. I'm just a doll.
Where did we go?
Waiting
I
to
completely lost
murder.
what we were talking about.
Sorry, we're talking about Ethan. I'm on the coffee table, knees in the corner, watching him kiss her. Oh,
I'll talk about Robin most days.
Robin.
So yes, now that we're dealing with Ethan, she also has to deal with the matter of her parents, hopefully not finding out about the
Her
alleged
betrothed?
apparent betrothed Connor. No.
Yeah, Cormac.
Cormac. Oh my God, not Connor.
No, how dare you speak ill of the dead?
Oh, I mean, he would have loved to have been betrothed to Bryce.
Stop. It's fine. He's
fine.
gone. We
He's
have
gone.
to get over it.
He's gone. So she is now allegedly betrothed to this man from Avalon. And so she wants to get her parents out of town before they find out because she doesn't want to deal with it. So Bryce gets off the call. She's with her parents. She's in the hallway. We're with Hunt's POV right now. And she returns back to the main area facing Hunt, looking tired. All three of them are obviously very wiped out. And Bryce seems to realize that they'll have to figure out sleeping arrangements.
Uh-oh.
I say all three in one bed.
I mean, if you've got the space, the problem is, Hunt's too big.
Yeah.
To share that much.
Probably Ethan's kind of big too, but he doesn't have wings.
Yeah, but even then, it's like they're too broad. Poor Bryce. How would she fit?
Oh, no. Poor
no,
Bryce.
she wouldn't be able to wear any clothes.
So Ethan mumbles that he'll sleep on the couch, which Bryce shuts down immediately. No blood on the white couch.
Oh,
obviously.
not again.
Not again. It'll have to be in her room. Hunt, a little too quickly, says he can stay in my room and I'll sleep on the couch. Bryce points out her bed is bigger and that she can't sleep on the couch because of her back problems, which Hunt is like, what? But she shuts down the conversation before Hunt can protest. Bryce and Ethan in her room, Hunt cucked in his bedroom.
15 minutes later, Hunt lay in his own bed, teeth gritted as he stared at the ceiling, with only a snoring Syrinx for company. It was fine. Totally fucking fine that Ethan Holstrom was sharing Bryce's bed. Totally fucking fine. I don't think... Wait a second.
You okay?
Wait, Hunt, you're right. Oh, how you feeling, baby? Not good. He's upset. But also, I
don't blame
love
him.
this.
I don't blame him. That would be, can you imagine? I'd be very upset. And be like, he goes on about saying he trusts Bryce and everything, but it's like, it's not about that.
No, it's very upsetting.
It's his bed, he screams in his thoughts, which is very cute because it's like their bed now.
Yeah.
He was calling it Bryce's bed. It's like, actually, it's our bed.
It's our bed, and we should be in it. But I will say, it's like, you could have put Ethan in the bed by himself.
Well, later on
But
in
it's a
Bryce's
little-
thoughts, later on in Bryce's thoughts, she does talk about how she wanted to protect him, thinking that Sabine was going to show up. And she has to be the protector at all times.
I guess not everybody's thinking about banging all the time, Jackie, and you gotta remember that.
And I don't mean to slut shame Bryce at all, but it's kind of mean on Bryce's end. He's thinking about how he last spotted her going into her bedroom braless in a threadbare t-shirt, a sleeping attire. And I agree that does not indicate anything. But like, you know how hot you are, Bryce.
Yeah.
That's just cruel to Hunt. To be honest.
You big and juicy. You know what you giving.
Yeah. You don't come on, Bryce. You're killing Hunt here. Not to mention, who knows what Ethan's thinking about, you know?
I'm just like, oh God, I like her. Don't get hard in the bed.
Oh, no.
Don't get hard in the bed. Because, like, the thing is, too, I want to be like, oh, would he even get hard in the bed because he's so beaten up? But I feel like wolves are also kind of used to getting the shit beaten out of them.
I mean, this might be bad enough that he's not, like, he almost has lost his eyeball.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's pretty bad. I mean, look at me. Yeah,
I mean,
look
how
like,
do you feel? Do you feel like you can get a boner right now?
Yeah, I'm hard as the day is long.
No, not now, not at work.
Very difficult. I don't know what to do with my short shorts. But, you know, I guess I'm just going to have to let him bulge.
I guess so.
Let him bulge.
Let him bulge.
That's what Hunt
Let him
is
bulge.
for.
I don't want to sing that song.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
So Hunt he's not angry with Bryce, of course, because he's a real man who is not threatened by a woman being strong.
Whoa.
Yeah, just saying. So Bryce knows that she wants Hunt, not Ethan, and he does trust her. But again, don't blame him at all. You best believe if Henry was lying in bed with some old friend of his and like I wrote his Lingham-ray.
His Lingham-ray. I mean, Henry's been talking a lot about rompims. He's been wearing some rompims recently, and he's been very excited about his rompims. So Lingham-ray, I'll take.
I guess it'd be Lingham-ray.
Lingham-ray.
If he was lying in bed with some old friend, a woman wearing his sexiest attire, I would be pretty mad.
Very upset. I don't even want to think about it.
I'm voting for this to be worked out into our culture, though. Why isn't there stuff for like lingerie for men?
Oh, I thought you meant the whole like getting over someone, like laying next to someone that has a crush on them in their bed.
No.
I was like, I don't know if I can as a society get over it. I tried to be poly, Natalie. It didn't work for me.
Oh,
all right?
No, I could never.
It doesn't work for everybody.
No.
But I do like, you're right. You know, I think like Fenty's playing more with lingerie. I believe.
Really?
Yes. So it's starting to really come out there.
I just think that'd be cool. I'm not saying like the masculine counterpart for like straight guys, like gay guys as well, but I just mean like guys who are traditionally masculine. I feel like there should be more like lingerie options for them because I love lingerie. I love wearing. I think it's great, and I love wearing it. But
everybody deserves to be sexy in the same way that, you know, if you identify as a man, you deserve flowers too.
Yeah,
I get flowers for Jeff. He gets flowers for me.
But also, let me get some seduction here.
Yeah, let's get some. Whoa.
Do you remember Fredericks of Hollywood?
Whoa.
Do you remember that story?
Look, a sheer for it bikini brief with money clip built into the bikini brief. I'm looking at Fenty.
Oh, I think that seems like it for a strip club.
Or for fun.
For fun.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if he needs some tips, here's a tip. Take it out.
Yeah. Yeah, get him.
Yeah, but also,
do you remember Fredericks of Hollywood?
Oh, do I remember Fredericks of Hollywood?
They were in malls in the like 90s and 2000s, and I remember them having underwear that looked like an elephant's trunk for men.
Wow, now that is fabulous.
But they don't make that. They don't make it anymore.
You'd have to make the elephant noises. But you know what? Even there are a couple of fun things on Fenty for masked people, but I don't. It's not enough.
No.
I mean, there's some satin boxers, but I feel like even that, it's like, give me more strappy.
I think we also just need to normalize mask guys or people wearing sexy lingerie. Because
Yeah.
I think that like a lot of lingerie companies that I follow they actually put men in the gear on the website, which I love. But we need to like let masked people be comfortable in it.
Yes.
Seduce your partners.
Yes. Everyone deserves seduction.
So Hunt knows Bryce wants him, but he also is still mad at Ethan for how he treated Bryce during those years after the Pack murders, how alone Bryce was, and how cruel he really was to her. And yeah, Bryce likes Hunt, but Ethan is a big hunk of sunball meat.
I may be bleedy, but I'm still hot.
What if she catches feelings?
Stupid, jealous idiot. For fuck's sake, having Holstrom here bothered him more than that asshole Cormac claiming he'd marry Quinlan.
Well, yeah, obviously. She's lying in bed with her.
Yeah, because I think that's acceptable. We'll allow that upset.
I'm not being judgmental at all. That would rattle the most sturdy of us.
Yeah.
Guiltily, he decides to peer upon the article that caused this big hullabaloo.
You don't look at the comments, babe. Like, I know that but he's not that new to it. He still was in the world, I guess, although not. Because I guess during all of his, like, fight and all of his being out with Shahar, all of that was probably pre-cell phone.
Well, even still, where do they come from? Is it Pangea? No. Wherever Sandriel was, that part of the world still does old tech. They don't have computers and stuff.
Right.
So he didn't grow up with any of that. But yeah, no, you shouldn't look. But he decides to look, and he pulls his phone out, and he finds the article. What he reads almost sends him shooting into the night to find Sabine and pull her apart limb by limb. Bryce Quinlan is nothing but a spoiled party girl who was conveniently in the right place during the attack. My wolves saved innocence. She's a pathetic fame chaser. Excuse me, ma'am.
Where were you, Sabine?
She did nothing. She said
know?
no. She said no to letting the wolves go out there.
Interesting, yeah. And also, yeah, where are the receipts, Sabine? What you're saying, like, my wolf saved innocence. What did you do, Sabine?
It's just like America.
You fucked everybody over. That's what you did. And then you beat the shit out of a good wolf.
And then
That's
you take
what you did.
the credit for anything good that happened.
Boo on you.
Boo. Boo this woman.
Boo.
Pathetic. You're the clout chaser,
Yeah, you
Sabine,
tell him, Natalie. You tell him. Yeah, get her.
But then Hunt sees the quote from Ethan that got him kicked out, which is, again, just him telling the truth, which some people seem allergic to, that Bryce was the one who saved the city, who made it so the wolves could come out and assist her, that she is the hero.
Because she is a hero.
She is a hero. Hunt's not ready to throw Ethan any parties, but he is about to put his phone down when he gets a text from Isaiah saying that the new Archangel will be in Lunathian the following evening at 5. So there's another thing to throw on the pile. Now,
you're trying to stay out of everything.
Breaking news, new Archangel's coming into town. And Isaiah is telling Hunt that he needs to be there and to not be a prick. Hunt just says copy back and then stares into the ceiling, trying to sleep, but sleep won't come.
It's like, Isaiah, could you just tell me in the morning? Like, don't do this to me late at night. Although I will say Isaiah doesn't know the night he's had.
He doesn't know. Cut to Bryce, who is also not asleep in the dark of her room, thinking about how weird it is to have Ethan in her bed.
Oh, yeah.
His scent is so similar to Connor's.
Oh, God.
She glumly thinks about how she has to be up in 4 hours to see her parents off on their early train, hoping they won't catch wind of her apparent engagement to Cormac before then.
Oh, it sounds like they're getting farted on.
Oh, catch wind. Got it. Found what we're talking about.
Farted on.
Ethan speaks, then I'm just going to move on.
I said it twice, Natalie.
I know, I'm moving forward. Ethan speaks, and then she realizes he has also not found sleep. He tells her he could have slept on the couch, and she jokes that she worries that Hunt would smother him in his sleep. But she really, in her mind, is thinking about how she wanted to keep watch over him.
It's very nice.
Sure. Maybe unnecessary, but it's nice. Convinced that Sabine would break in to finish the job on him. She wouldn't reveal this to Ethan, though, of course.
Well, of course, because you don't want to like take his power away. But I also do feel like, girl, what are you going to do if Sabine really comes in there? You're trying to stay out of trouble. And these people don't understand how to stay out of trouble.
They really don't.
I'm really good at staying out of trouble. I feel like if they just asked me, how do I live my life? But you know what, Natalie? I'm not out there saving lives, am I? I'm in the shadows.
You are through
getting blood all over the studio.
Through bringing laughter.
Oh, thank you. Yes, the world doth need a bit of a jester, do they not?
You're basically an EMT.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll staple up anything you got. You bleeding? I'll stick it. That sounds like I'm being a Tom Cruise, but I'm not. Not being a fish fucker over here.
Okay, so the two of them began talking in the dark. Not intimately, but kind of awkwardly. So it's not flirting. They're just both awake.
Both awake.
Ethan explains that he was able to get in because Danica had used whatever they do to key somebody to the door. So he basically had his
credit card
or his fingerprints or something.
Oh,
or
yeah,
like
one
a
of those.
magic something. So that's how he was able to get in because Danica had made it so. Bryce didn't know this, and hearing Danica's name from Ethan hits her like ice. Ethan wants to know about Danica's assistance with Bryce's drop that past spring. She tells him she's not sure how it happened. After a moment of hesitation, she adds that during her drop, that Danica told her that the other members of the pack were holding off Reapers to allow Danica to help Bryce. In that way, the whole pack, Connor included, helped her make the drop.
Ethan said nothing for a long moment. When was the last time they'd spoken like this? Calm, quiet, without hate spewing like acid, burning everything it touched. Then Ethan said,
He loved you more than anyone.
"Ow!
Ouch.
It's lonely out here for a wolf without a pack. Wolf without a pack."
Oh, that's a good song.
I'm all alone, Natalie.
Honestly, I think you should workshop that song.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll start working on my wolf solo album.
Aw, I would listen. This fills Bryce with the bittersweet pain of the love you feel for someone, especially if you lose them. Ethan then tells her Connor thought Bryce was his mate. So a lot of stuff's going down in this bedroom. It's not sex.
It's just so, it's such a long day.
In one day.
Do we have to do it all right now?
You shouldn't have to. It's a lot to hear that Connor thought Bryce was his mate.
Okay, it's big. All right.
Mate is a term we're familiar with, especially if we've read the other SJM series. And we learn a little bit more about what that means in Midgard here.
There were several definitions of the term mate, though Bryce supposed that to Ethan, to a shifter, only one mattered. One's true lover, predestined by Erd.
So that's a lot to take in.
And I feel like that's a lot to throw down on someone, where it's if you're talking to someone, even if you're both dealing with the grief, think about how is this person going to take this?
Give it a day. You haven't spoken to each other in 2 years, pretty much.
Quite some time. So, I mean, to be fair, she's also laying down some tough shit when they're trying to both go to sleep. It's just not the time to talk about these things.
No.
Over coffee, sure.
I guess maybe they could both be thinking our friendship might not recover, and maybe this is the only opportunity
that we can talk to each other.
Maybe. So she thinks about how the Fae have a slightly different meaning of the term, that in the Fae world, matehood is also something that is likely biological, something you can't control. When we saw that in the other series too, where sometimes it's not reciprocated or wanted.
Right.
It's a biological reaction where you might not actually want to be mated to somebody. And so that's how Fae people see it. And then the shifter version seems to be a little bit more like a romantic, like they are predestined to be in love.
Right. But I also feel like that is just a perspective that, it is that it's like you can view it that way if you want to, or it's just something that is biological, that is something that is chemical, that could not be changed or undone. But I forget, at this point, do we know? Because this is where they're just starting to really introduce this in the world of Crescent City specifically, right?
It's been mentioned.
Okay.
But not really. It's been brought up. The word mate has been brought up, but not much more than that.
Gotcha.
So the mate for the Malachim is used more casually. So it's sort of more synonymous with spouse. So in the angel world, mate is really just the person you're going to spend your time with.
Right, that you almost it's almost like aligning your house with another.
Yeah, it can be matehood
kingdom.
can be arranged.
Yes,
essentially in the angel world. Bryce feels a lot of emotions to know that Connor thought she was her mate. Of course, that's a lot.
Of course.
Ethan wants to know if Bryce loved him, which of course she did. They talk quietly in the dark, even sharing a couple light laughs. But then Bryce asks Ethan why he quit Sunball, and he closes up. He turns away from her.
She felt Ethan tense, the mattress shifting.
Because it's a stupid game,
he said, voice empty.
Bryce?
Babe,
yeah. I mean, we all know that's not why you quit. But she also quit dance.
I mean, sometimes grief in your life completely consumes you and you're unable to take joy in things that used to give you joy. And also, sometimes the perspective that it provides makes you really, truly see it oh, it's just a stupid game. Oh, it doesn't matter, especially when you're up against and being with people that are doing so much more with their time. That, I mean, maybe I'm not speaking for myself right now. Interesting. It's therapy. That it is sometimes that you're what do I even do that is even adding to society?
Oh, boy.
Again. What was I made for?
Oh, no. Don't bring Billy out.
And Ethan's going through this right now.
Well, you are the healthcare worker of comedy.
Thank you.
That's what I say.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So he turns, and Bryce lay awake afterwards in the silence, wishing to the goddess Luna for sleep to arrive.
Keep praying, bitch.
Nah,
Keep fucking praying.
Go to sleep. Okay. I don't remember the next part of that song. We return to Rune in chapter 7, who is in an argument with his father.
Daddy!
God, these gets...
See, that's the thing. If my abusive father had those ears, I mean, it's fucking a
I'm
field
supposed
day
to be sexy
over here. You are very sexy.
Let's see.
Trying to make the ears not stand out as much.
I can't be intimidating if they're sticking out.
You can be intimidating as a fae. You're
Okay,
very
look, that's
mean. Yes, that's it. Yes, killing it.
So we're with Rune at chapter 7, who is in an argument with his papa. They are in the Autumn King's study. Cormac is also there, seemingly only to antagonize Rune alongside the Autumn King. They're obviously arguing about what has gone down at Rune's house. He is berating his father for allowing such archaic rules to reign in modern Crescent City, that he would invoke the selling of his daughter to another territory.
In this day and age, Daddy?
In this economy?
Oy. But also, it's you think in this economy, it's yeah, we gotta marry her off. There's big shit happening right now.
No excuses.
Whoa. I'm trying to defend you, bro.
Bryce will arrive willingly at the marriage altar,
his daddy said.
As will you.
Daddy, don't you do it to me too, Daddy. I know you're already doing it to me, but you can't do it to my sister.
Oh, I can, and I will.
Cormac, don't keep the daddy voice.
I was still being him.
Oh, okay. I'm scared of you.
Cormac gives Rune a mocking congratulations for his engagement to Hypoxia. But then he adds that his fiancée, Hypoxia, has such a strange bloodline. Rune turns and sizes him up.
Because, like, the thing is, he don't want to marry her, but you ain't going to fucking go after her either.
And doesn't know what he means.
Yeah.
What do you mean she has rather strange blood? And he wants to look at Cormac to see if he's just trying to start a fight.
Because we don't trust this MFer.
But Cormac seems surprised that Rune doesn't know what he's talking about. But it becomes clear that the Autumn King knows. Hypoxia apparently has some unique heritage that Rune doesn't know about. And the Autumn King apparently felt unnecessary to reveal. And we get a nice surprise news in this chapter that Hypoxia is the sister of a very specific person who we've met already. That Hypoxia's mother was the late Queen Hecuba. And she had 2 daughters from 2 sires. They learned that Hypoxia was a powerful necromancer, and so she was kept amongst the witches. But then the other one inherited their father's gifts. Then he reveals the other sister was sired by a stag shifter. Everybody got that? Hypoxia.
Okay.
Same
so
mom.
we've got, same mom.
She's a secret sister.
Secret sister, okay.
Hypoxia's witchy kind of powers were predominant in her, so she stayed with the witches. But Queen Hecuba saw that the other daughter didn't have witch traits, but the traits of her biological father, and so her sister was sent away.
Cormac snorted.
Hypoxia's... Oh, yeah, he's like...
Yeah.
Hypoxia's half-sister is better known as the Hind. What?
If you guys remember the Hind is very scary, and we're scared of her.
Oh no, she's baddie. She's a bad.
She's got a baddie sister, got a baddie sister. But do we support this sister? Nay. All right? Sometimes in a sisterhood, you gotta break it. Sometimes you gotta rip those pants in half and set them on fire.
Which pants?
The sister of the traveling pants.
Oh, the sister of the traveling pants. Got it. Yeah, those pants were not cute.
No,
Sorry.
just low-rise jeans, okay?
Sorry.
Everybody calm down.
So big bomb drop there. Rune, obviously, we know already despises the Hind. She is a cruel mistress of darkness, and we have been introduced to her again at the beginning of this book.
Oh, yeah.
Killing somebody.
Yeah, she's scary.
So now we find out Hypoxia is her sister, and Rune is supposed to marry Hypoxia.
But, maybe keep your enemies closer. Like, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you're gonna line your houses.
You want to line your houses with those creeps?
I mean, it's better to make friends than enemies.
I don't know. If your friends are torturers, it might be like a bad idea.
I know. I just feel like I would be the weasel that would be like, I'll help you. Don't hurt me, boss. Come on, boss.
Oh, you
let
think
me at him.
You are the idea of killing a maggot has destroyed you internally, but you think you're gonna go torture people?
Yeah, I'm like, waka-chach. Oh, waka-chach.
You don't even know what the sound of a whip is. Waka-chach.
I'm coming at you.
What instrument of torture is that?
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna see. Let me at him.
That's what it is to hit somebody, right?
Yeah, see?
How you chew?
Oh.
No, I think it's probably not great to have to be in the family with the Hinds. Imagine those holidays.
Oh, God, no thank you. And you have to pay for the flights? It's like, too much.
Cormac explains further that apparently the Hind didn't reveal, again, I just said this, all the witch gifts as a child was shipped to her father. So Hypoxia, by default, being the only daughter of the queen, by default gets the crown. But there is some upheaval amongst the witches because of Hypoxia's necromancy skills, because even in the witch world, that's not normal.
It's
that she
not
can
okay.
talk to dead things.
Which, technically, real badass.
Yeah, I see. What's the problem? That sounds cool as hell.
I say we all need to be adding a little bit more necromancer into our lives.
Not
Don't be digging up graves.
Not like sexually.
No. Necromancer is
Oh, that's different than necromania.
That's not
Necrophilia.
necrophilia. Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't go that far.
Necromancy is not necrophilia. Just so we're all clear.
I hope Hypoxia knows the difference. We should probably ask.
Although, like, it seems like some of the dead people in this world can consent.
Can get it. Oh. Yeah, can consent.
The Autumn King is not concerned with the Hind connection, however. He doesn't like the Hind. He finds her insufferable, but he reiterates to Rune that he will marry Hypoxia and Bryce will marry Cormac. No discussion. Rune points out that Bryce and Hunt are clearly together, and it's not as though Hunt is just going to be willingly accepting of this atrocity. The Autumn King grossly points out to the other males in the room that Hunt and Bryce's scents have not scented that they have consummated it.
I don't like this.
I don't like any of this discussion. And also, what does that have to do with, oh, she needs to be pure? Guess what? She's not, bitch.
Yeah, she ain't pure, daddy.
So he's like, the relationship, the engagement is still on because they haven't had sex yet?
It's like,
okay, weirdo.
Yeah, do you realize that she's obviously had sex before? I should say obviously, but most likely you could assume she's had sex before.
Rune is correctly repulsed by this conversation. Cormac dismisses her relationship with Hunt, mentioning that only an idiot would throw away a kingdom for a bastard angel.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not a nice way of saying it, Cormac. Like, I feel like there's better ways to communicate that. I mean, he's not wrong. But I wouldn't throw away a kingdom.
I don't know. Running a kingdom would be awful.
I'd be so good at it. Think of me putting together the functions. I am made to sit upon the pearly tower.
Oh, see, but this is not this world. There's no patriarchy. You would be running the ship. You're not putting parties together.
I want to put parties together.
I think you just have to be a party planner.
All right. I'm going to be a party, a royal party
okay,
planner.
There you go.
It would really be difficult to keep all those plates spinning, but I think I can take it down.
The plates have to be spinning
while
they eat?
Yeah, what else do they expect?
The Autumn King heartlessly tells Rune that she should have kept her lineage secret if she didn't want to be forced into this role. Incensed, Rune challenges the Autumn King, saying that he's doing this simply because Bryce showed him up in power, which may be true.
Whoa.
The Autumn King insults Rune and then tells him she needs to be put to her only good use, which is, wow, to breed and to form a union for him with Avalon. Real Game of Thrones shit.
Yeah, you're being real Autumn King right now, and I don't appreciate it. But you look great, even though your nipples are in the outer space.
Yeah, they're way up here. But look at these triceps and these delts.
You look great. Oh yeah, no, you're really it looks good. Besides the nipples and the abs.
It's unfortunate. I don't know who this is supposed to be for.
Yeah, who is it made for? What?
It's an adult costume.
Who can wear that?
It's not placed correctly. I'll say that. So Cormac adds to an enraged Rune that her breeding is vital to the lineage of magic in general, that Fae power has been diminishing over the generations, and that her star power is the strongest in that time. So she must be bred like an animal, of course. Yeah. We can't let women make their own decisions. Oh, we need to make sure she's milked or whatever.
Yeah, man.
The men continue to argue, Rune bringing up the time Cormac tried to gut Declan during their ordeal. We're going back to the ordeal because these guys are really stuck in that cycle. So they're fighting again about, they both wanted the Star Sword and Rune got it. So that's kind of why Cormac's been a little bit of a whiny baby this whole time. But he did try to kill Declan during that situation. Cormac only continues to punch lower than below the belt, suggesting that since Rune is so concerned with his sister's bed, maybe he should return to the ancient Fae practice of interbreeding. Gross, weirdo.
Good one, Cormac.
Rune is about to start a physical fight, but Cormac walks out, leaving him with... I can't do Irish.
That brogue, bitch.
You might rebel or you like Rune Danan.
Yes.
Your crown prince is my. Our fates are the same. But I know which one of us will rise to meet it. Perfect.
That was great,
It's flawless.
Natalie.
Rune, still angered, is caught by those parting words as he mulls over the oracle's predictions. Again, the secret prediction that he has. He wonders if it means, because if you remember, it is that the royal bloodline will end with him. He's never told his dad. He wonders if that prediction means that he's going to die before he's crowned king, or could it be that Cormac will be his killer in a grab for the crown? Is that what the prediction meant?
Man, how do you not bring that up to anybody? I feel like I need to really process and discuss.
He has to hide it. So
I know he has to.
He'd have a bigger bounty on his head if that were the case.
I just feel like I need to talk about it. And maybe this is just me having all my emotions on my sleeves, but sleeve me up, Scotty. Because my emotions.
But see, you can't. This is why you couldn't be a crowned prince, because there's all of these things that are. I mean, you read The Spare.
Yeah, this is
you know
what,
how hard
you're right.
life is.
It is hard. This is the only reason why I can't be a crowned prince.
Yeah,
and it is difficult to understand about yourself.
It is. It's a hard truth that you need to have sometimes in your life.
Thank you.
And he can't tell people this because it would literally put a target on his back. So he's only ever, I think he has told no one. He turns to his father because Cormac kind of, after he mocks Rune in this way, bails, he leaves. And so now Rune and the Autumn King are left in the same room, kind of just staring at each other. And Rune asks why he's doing this, to which his father replies that asking shows that he's no son of his. Rune, thinking of the scars on his arms covered by the tattoos that, of course, the Autumn King gave him, feels the sting of these words far more than the physical lashings he received from his father. He holds these emotions back, of course. He doesn't want to give his father the pleasure. He asks if the Autumn King figures he'll get the son he wanted by having Cormac wedded to his biological daughter.
His father's lips curled upward, eyes as lifeless as the pit.
Cormac has always been the son I should have had, rather than the one I was burdened with.
Oh,
jeez, bro.
Do not appreciate the tood right now. It's like you already are given all the physical bullshit that I have to fucking deal with, and then you're still with the pep, 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 pep. That's all I hear. That's all I hear from Daddy's mouth. You
Sorry.
bird, Daddy?
I'm the king.
Ugh.
It doesn't matter what
it's
you
like,
think.
You're not even like that strong. Did you see my sister's stronger than you? Did you see?
It's not even her power.
Oh, look at him. Oh, he's worming about the
I'm not
place.
mad about it.
Ooh, I just want to use you at the end of a fish hook. You worm?
Jesiba. I thought we were supposed to have him be like morally gray still over here and him being just a villain. We don't know. We thought maybe there was a second where the Autumn King was showing some kind of compassion, but like that's one of the meanest things I've ever heard.
Nah, don't you look for no Snape over here, bitches.
Yeah, this ain't no Snape.
Look away.
Well, that's going to be a tough statement to come back from. Will he be able to make a recovery arc? I mean, Swearingen did on Deadwood.
Oh my God. Oh, did he?
Tune in to find out. At chapter 8, we're back with Bryce and Hunt and are preparing to take on a various level of battles of wills in each of their respective days. We've got Bryce. She needs to dodge her mom and avoid anyone who may have questions about the engagement while she goes to work.
Oh.
Hunt has to go meet Celestina, the new Archangel, for the first time. And they've had no sleep. There's a bloody wolf in their house.
That can't go anywhere. Because that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you have tonight and then you have to leave. But also, he doesn't have a pack anymore.
Next thing you know, they're going to walk outside. There's going to be construction on their street.
Oh, my God.
And they can't get out.
Hooting at your nipples that are on the top of your head.
Yeah, I know. I'm just putting them out there for it. But I mean, what do I expect?
You did ask for it. Yeah, dressed like this. A white turtleneck. Yeah. On a July day. Yikes.
A 5 o'clock shadow made out of makeup.
Looking good.
So they're they're trying to like figure out, they're trying to help each other get through these emotions. Though Hunt is extremely apprehensive about this Archangel coming in. The city is in a fervor, getting everything cleaned up and decorated and putting up ribbons for the arrival of their new overlord. Who knows if they're actually excited, but they're just probably afraid.
Exactly. It's like, what portals? Don't worry. Are you going to come in and start a war? What are you going to do?
My beautiful liege.
Yes.
It's very Putin-like.
Yes, very scary.
So they're in the kitchen getting themselves ready in the apartment. Both are trying to pump the other up while also being apprehensive about their own troubles. Bryce reminds Hunt, with fire in her eyes, of what they did to the last two archangels who messed with them, because she can sense Hunt's worry, which, while I don't condone killing, is unfortunately extremely badass and hot that she is like, I'll kill them again. Don't worry, honey.
Yeah. Especially because the sentiment goes both ways.
Yeah.
That is just, it's just hot.
It is. We're with Hunt.
It's book hot. It's book hot.
Yes. In fake world.
Yes.
We're with Hunt in this section, and he seems to agree with us that it's very hot. It also melts his iced over heart that she so cares for him. They begin to ponder over Ethan and what they're going to do when Ethan walks into the room. Bryce tells him he can stay as long as he wants, which a now healing Ethan, because of his, wolfiness, he's like mending faster, but he's still kind of messed up, and he doesn't seem interested in arguing or feigning resistance to the idea of he can stay. He's, I couldn't. He didn't even do that.
Yeah.
Likely because...
Yeah, but I mean, this next line, likely because he woke it up and realized he doesn't have a damn place to go. It's like, it's also like, thank you for saying that, because what was I going to go sit at the library while I actively bleed?
Yeah. So he's in a nice apartment now, and he's not going to complain about it. As they're all standing in the kitchen, Hunt hands them both coffee, and we see Ethan's mug says,
I survived class of 15,032 senior week, and all I got was this stupid mug.
It's giving us a brief reminder of the kind of timeline we're on here in Midgard. And man, just talking about Midgard, I re-got to the end of the second book once again, and man, the reveals are just revealing at the end of the second book.
There's a lot. There's a lot here, guys.
Talking about Midgard just reminded me of one of the plot points that I really enjoy towards the end of the book. Ethan notices...
Trying to suss it out in my brain.
Well, I mean, I don't think you would be able to figure it out. There's so many reveals.
There's just so much, yeah.
Ethan notices the mug as well, and Hunt watches, totally not threatened, as Bryce and Ethan reminisce about that particular senior week, since they were both apparently participants in the senior week. They were both, surprise, surprise, hella drunk.
Having a good time.
Did your college have something like that?
Yes. Yeah, they had I didn't really participate.
See, we had one day, we didn't have frat houses and stuff at my school, but we had this thing called GIG. It was called Get Into Goucher. It was one day at the end of the year.
Ooh.
And it would have sometimes they have rides and stuff.
Whoa.
It was really fun, but it was mostly about doing drugs and just being pure chaos.
That was the thing. Most of the senior things I would go to was just a reason for me to do drugs and not really participate.
I mean, the only thing that people get for GIG at my college, there wasn't anything to do but hang out. It was like a fun party, carnival kind of day. And it was so fun. But I look back now as an adult and just think about how insufferable that must be to clean up after and stuff.
And also think about I feel like as you were describing this, we had a couple of senior lock-ins. A lock-in, why? I mean, I understand so that that the kids aren't going to go anywhere and that they're all going to be safe. But it's you can bring drugs into the lock-in.
What's
right?
a lock-in?
So they would, when I ran a boys and girls club section, we also did lock-ins for the kids where it's they would be dropped
I did that
off.
as a kid.
And then that overnight, but then seniors, they would do lock-ins. And it's yo, what do you think we're going to do in here?
I've never heard of that for grown
people. We were too old to be still having lock-ins.
This is just gonna be fucking and drugs.
Well, not as much fun. It's trying to see what you can get away with, because there's still there's still chaperones, but the chaperones have to go to sleep at some point.
Chaperones?
Yeah, man. Oh, there are chaperones.
My college was a very different experience.
Oh, I was thinking of high school.
Oh, high school.
High
Okay,
school.
okay.
I was
thought you
thinking
were
of high
talking
school.
about
No,
college.
high school.
That
I was
makes
thinking
more
of high
sense.
school.
Yeah. I mean, still, that would have never happened in my school in a million years. There was like we had so many heroin addicts and stuff in high school. Like it wasn't a cute. I don't think they.
Oh
could've
yeah,
done
no,
that.
Florida. It was pretty right. It was pretty easy to get.
Woo! Anyway, we got to finish this episode.
Oh, Florida.
Wow,
oh,
having a lot of
Pittsburgh.
memories
All right,
rush
and then
past me.
just look at my chest hair. Oh, look at all this fur. All right.
At GEG, we had a thing called Captain's Challenge every morning, because there was one every year. So I went to 3.
Is that like a king cup?
No, you start the day off with a bowl of Captain Crunch, but instead of milk, you use Captain Morgan.
Whoa. That would, man.
That's
The
disgusting.
sugar alone. That's
yeah.
what I think about more
Oh, yeah.
than anything. Think of the crash you're going to have at 1 p.m. Well, at that time, you're just drunk, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Shit-faced,
Yeah.
Anyway, Hunt is probably a little jealous.
Yeah.
But is more touched to see Bryce smiling broadly, even if the memory seems bittersweet to her, and is thankful for seeing her happiness. Bryce excuses herself to prepare for work, and the males then proceed to have a bro off in the kitchen. Hunt faces Ethan and does a bit of an alpha thing of, "You mess with me, Bryce? I'm gonna beat your meat."
Okay.
But not sexually.
Oh, but it sounds like you meant sexually.
I mean, face me.
Okay, well, I guess I'm scared.
Ethan's all, "Yeah, why don't you try to beat my meat and see what happens?"
Yeah, you gonna jerk me off? You gonna jerk me off?
What they're really saying is that Hunt doesn't want Ethan to come in and mess up the future that Bryce is trying to build. Ethan
Fine.
is furious that Hunt would suggest he would do anything to affect her life.
Interesting, because you certainly weren't around for her when she really needed you, but also you needed her too.
It's true. He throws in the barb that he knows her for years more than Hunt, and that they've had way more couch time where their knees touched
Whoa.
than Hunt and her have ever had.
Whoa.
He didn't say that, but he was thinking it.
Yeah, he was.
Hunt wants to know why he bothered to defend her in the newspaper in the first place that got him tossed out of the wolf's den. Ethan replies, "Danica showed up for her. My brother and the rest of the pack of devils showed up for her this spring. If they're not holding a grudge, how can I?"
Whoa.
Hunt mocks.
Big of him to think, you know?
It's true. Hunt sort of like mocks him, asking him if he needs his dead brother's permission to be nice to people, which is like, ouch, Hunt. And then he stood by the way, for the last few years, watching Amelie be a complete jerk to Bryce. They both bare their teeth at each other until they are interrupted by Syrinx asking for second breakfast.
Very cute. Somebody's coming for Kibs.
Yep, coming for Gibbies. It calms the tension enough that they step away from each other as Hunt goes to pour Syrinx some food. Ethan's still pretty pissed, though, and as he walks over to the couch to watch TV, he mentions aloud that it took Bryce 5 years to agree to a date with Connor.
Hunt kept his face unreadable as Syrinx devoured his second, potentially third, breakfast.
So?
Ethan turned on the morning news before propping his feet on the coffee table and interlacing his hands behind his head.
You're at 5 months, bro. Good luck to you.
I mean, it is a funny, cutesy back and forth, even though it's not cutesy to them.
But it is cutesy to look at.
Yeah, it is.
We cut over to Bryce, who is at her job in the archives, thankful for the solitude. But there is still this ache of longing in her for griffins, especially the ever-present tittering of Lehiba as she watched Fangs and Bangs.
Oh, God.
So she has already mentioned she enjoys this Fae Archives job for not having to communicate with like all the customers and the kind of gets to spend alone time. But she does have this, this ache for this other time in her life, this bygone time, and she misses her friend. Losing herself to her memories, she reaches out for Syrinx, her steadfast companion, only to remember that he was left at home to watch over Ethan that day. She recalls with sadness that after the great demon battle the past spring, how she watched the boats at their sailings wondering if there was going to be a tiny boat floating out with Lily.
Stop.
Oh, little tiny boat.
Oh, God.
She didn't see that and doesn't know if sprites can have sailings, especially since Lily was extinguished. Nothing remained of her.
The memory remains, God damn it.
She should have her own little tiny boat.
I'll make her a little coffin. Oh, God. It's the tiniest coffin I've
I
ever
come over to
seen.
your house and you're just making a tiny coffin.
Crying by
Like,
myself,
do we need to
still
take a break
covered in
from the
blood.
show?
No, I'll never stop.
Just making a tiny
She
coffin.
was so little. There's nothing left.
Bryce.
I'm fine, guys. I'm fine.
Oh, that's Jackie. Just making a tiny coffin.
Just let her.
just
Let her be. Yeah.
Bryce calls Jesiba to ask about the sculpture she is supposed to be archiving at the moment at work, a depiction of an old god named Thur, where they get the name Thursday from in Midgard.
Oh my God, I do have my Thursday socks on right now, Natalie. Yes.
Oh yeah, it is Thursday.
Yeah, I've purchased day of the week socks.
I mean, good for you.
Thank you.
Whatever sparks your joy.
Thank you.
I need new socks. I did throw a bunch of them out today because of the maggots. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd never touch my clothes ever again. I think I'd just live a nude life.
if you wanna bring me some new socks,
Sure, yeah, I'll get you some socks.
great. So,
Just cry. And then I'm crying, making a little coffin. You're crying, doing the laundry. It's just like, what are we going to do with all these women?
there's just a lot going on right now. So she thinks about how she often would use her time in ballet class to go over questions of should she have done something different in that moment? Should she have, was there something she could have done to spare Lily's
You
life?
did so much, girl.
Which is not a good idea because you will never have this conclusion. If you are just this idea of like, it's not going to give you closure.
No.
It's chasing this pain because you think you deserve it.
Right.
Also, not a good time it's not a good use of ballet class.
No, you need to be kinder to yourself.
The best part about dancing is you have to be utterly present. It's really great for anxiety and things like intrusive thoughts. If you, that was some of my only reprieve from it for years was like being able to be in ballet class because you can't think about anything except not
Your
falling.
form. Yeah, I bet.
But she's thinking about this, which is what her choice. But she's also cycling through survivor's guilt, questioning why it should have been Lehiba that died and not her. That Lily was a better person than her, who should have been able to enjoy her newfound freedom, which is understandable, but also, again, it's just not. I wish you could just say that won't help you, and then that you would stop, but of course you won't. It just keeps going.
No.
So Bryce is thinking about this time in ballet class. She is trying to make this call to Jesiba at the same time, asking about this sculpture she's supposed to be archiving, and it's this Thursday, the Thursday Thur.
Not Thor, but Thur.
Yes, which I did look up to see if there was a form of Thor named Thur, but I think she kind of just made an alteration on it.
Maybe from the boots with the Thur.
No, see, actually, when I looked up if there was a Thur, the first things that come up is the Chingy song, Right Thur.
Oh, like I'm going to do it right Thur.
Which I assume that is about the god.
Yeah, it must be.
I love it when you do that, right Thur.
Thur, yeah. Right Thur? Right? Yeah, like ask it.
Yeah. I think that's what that song is. So, but yes, we get Thursday from Thor on Earth. And so she's kind of doing the same diff. Jesiba she's asking Jesiba if she can help her figure out where the sculpture comes from. And Jesiba is being her normal spicy self in the phone call, but does show this level of camaraderie with Bryce that is hard to define, but you get the sense that she cares for Bryce in some way, but she's also very sharp with her, almost militant in some ways. And so it's you don't really know where you stand with her. It's a little bit like the Viper Queen. You're not exactly sure who this chick is.
Is she an enemy? Is she on my side? It's because again, SJM loves to play with these morally gray characters.
Yeah. So we don't really know, but you can kind of see that they have this relationship still. And she does sometimes show her hand that she may care for Bryce sometimes. So Jesiba hedges when Bryce asks if they are friends during this conversation as they're sort of like needling each other. But then Jesiba is like, she's not really answering the question, but then suggests she supposed that it would be an honor to be friends with the star-born princess.
Oh, okay.
And then she inserts, and the future queen of Avalon. So Jesiba has heard the news, which is not surprising. She seems to know everything, but Bryce is a little bummed that Jesiba already knows this thing that's happened.
It is like a big thing. You want to say when you're engaged, and you don't want someone else to say it.
Well, I think Bryce would prefer to not be engaged.
No, I think she's just upset because I think she's excited because she wants to celebrate.
Oh, yes, very much. So Bryce, she's not surprised, but she's bummed. She asks how she found out, and Jesiba basically suggests that the people she's turning into creatures have been whispering to her.
Her creatures are whispering to her. That,
which is, a non-answer. Very much like the Viper Queen again, where she has this sort of network of people like crawling around and finding stuff out, I guess. But she also, remember, in the basement of Griffin's had all of those creatures in like terrariums and stuff that she told Bryce were people that, wronged her. Bryce doesn't know if Jesiba was ever she doesn't know if that's real or not. She still doesn't know if she's just being like, kind of like snarky.
She sighed again.
I don't suppose you have any insights as to why the Autumn King suddenly decided to ruin my life?
Jesiba tisked.
Males will always try to control the females who scare them. Marriage and breeding are their go-to methods.
So rational. So calm. So put together.
Not wrong, is she?
No, she's not. How is it? What is it, 15? It's not 1532. It's like, 1540 something. I feel like even then, in this our age of 1540 something.
15,000.
15,040 something?
Yeah, Bryce concurs with her, but she doesn't think that's why the Autumn King is doing this. As they talk, Bryce is doodling BQ plus HA in a heart, which is cute. Though Bryce claims to have called about inquiring about the statue to Jesiba, you can sort of read between the lines that maybe she's really called Jesiba to get some kind of advice.
Info?
Or even comfort. Jesiba is familiar with the games of the vanir and the massive amounts of power and like what that entails in a way that Ember just doesn't. So maybe Bryce kind of is looking to Jesiba as like a sort of aunt figure or something where
she
she's
will
like,
be your mommy figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. Yes. All right. Yeah, she'll be your mommy figure. Yeah. Yes.
So she's kind of like getting this stuff out of Jesiba, and Jesiba tells her in a Jesiba way, so not like straight up nice, that she's actually kind of relieved that Bryce is the starborn heir, that she has faith in her. She says this in a more snarky way, but she's kind of alluding to that, like, maybe this isn't the worst thing for, maybe you are mentally right to be
Oh my
the
God, are
starborn
you
heir.
actually giving me wisdom? Are you actually like
shut up
supporting me, mommy?
Oh no, you can't.
Mommy.
Jesiba can't be mommy.
No, mommy. She would never call her mommy because of Ember. So,
Yeah,
and we
she
know
loves
that.
Ember. She also mentions that Bryce is like Rune and means it as a compliment. Bryce gets a little existential, wonders why her star power is even valued. This is just like what you were just talking about.
Oh, what was I made for?
It's not like she's going to use the horn. Jesiba seems almost disappointed when she says this. Almost calls her a coward for, like bowing down to these
Not
scary.
even
But
use
like,
the
what
horn?
do you mean?
Yeah,
They run the entire planet.
She's trying to stay out of trouble, Jesiba.
Jesiba's like, whatever, bitch. And she suggests, though, even if she doesn't use the horn, her star power is pretty special anyway. You killed an archangel without access to that power. I imagine that you can now do a great many things, Quinlan.
Bryce stiffened at the words, spoken so casually over an open line. She had no idea what Jesiba had done with the Godslayer rifle. Honestly, she never wanted to see it again.
Only Jesiba would be talking about killing an Archangel on open phone lines.
She can fucking do whatever she wants. Everybody scared of her.
Everybody's scared of her.
And she's got bugs in the walls. And I'm not talking about your laundry right now. I'm talking about her listening with her network of spies.
Bryce goes on to continue the conversation when she gets buzzed on the intercom at work. So she's still on the call with Jesiba when she gets a call to leave the office. She tells Jesiba she has to go, but would appreciate if she could get some help and some info on this Thurbust. Jesiba tells her that she's busy. They exchange clip dialogue that is sort of like a loving antagonizing. Where Jesiba's like, I can't. What am I doing your job for you?
Cute.
Jesiba tells her she's going to turn her into a toad if she keeps pestering her. And Bryce replies that that's fine since she won't have to wear heels anymore.
Jesiba let out another soft, wicked laugh.
A word of advice, Quinlan. Think through the advantages of a marriage to Cormac Donnell before you decide to be a cliché and refuse.
Bryce stood, cradling the phone between her ear and shoulder.
Who says I'm not?
There was a lengthy pause before the sorceress said,
Good girl.
And hung up. It's like, I know we shouldn't be turned on when she says good girl, but it's really difficult not to be. I mean, Jesiba says good girl and I say how high.
You know she only likes consenting adults. It's all just fun.
I don't know. She's really into turning people into creatures without their consent. So That's
not sex.
You're right. It's not sex. And who's to say that Jesiba might not be a consent queen?
I think she is.
I know that as a creature turner, she's not. So let's hope for the best.
Oh, as a wolf shifter?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, she's taking your culture kind of.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that, Natalie. As I lay here bleeding upon the couch.
You should have been healing this whole time.
Oh, it takes so much effort. Okay, I'll go heal now. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
need to go take some heal time.
Fine, I'll go self-care, just like the other wolves don't want me to.
That'll show them success. The best form of revenge.